The Arch Linux distribution has a reputation for being difficult and complicated, and that's probably true if you're the type of person who likes to set up everything manually, desktop, shells, and so on, but it doesn't need to be that involved. In fact, since Arch install was introduced, getting in on the I use Arch by the way meme became, dare I say, easy. So today I want to install Arch the easiest way possible. Why now? Well, a new version of Arch install is only a few days away, and it comes with a very interesting change. There's now an option for Neri, my favorite window manager, combined with Dank material shell. There was an option for Neri before, but that was only with Neri, so you still needed to do some work after installing. Now it's kind of plug and play, and I'm very excited to try out DMS. Okay, first we need the ISO from the Arch website, after which I'll flash it to a USB. I use Balena Etcher. When it's done, I plug the USB into the PC, boot, and spam F11 and delete, which will land me in the BIOS. Here I make sure that it boots from the USB. Cool, we're in. Let's run pacman-sy arch install and hit enter. Now if I write arch install-v, we should get, version 4.4. Nice. Let's run arch install, and this is the installer. Even though it might look kinda scary, it's not really that different to a graphical installer. Here I can set the language, keyboard, etc. and in mirrors and repositories I choose Denmark and add the multilib repository. Disk configuration. Use a best effort default. I then select the internal SSD, not my USB. Select main file system. I'll go with BTRFS as it will allow me to have system snapshots. I'll disable copy and write, and that's really it for drives. I'll leave swap enabled, and in bootloader it uses systemd by default, but I'll change it to Limine. Kernel? Well, Linux. Hostname? Foci. Authentication? Password? Can you guess it? I'll then add a user. Foci. Password. Should Foci be a super user? Yes. Confirm and exit. Okay. Profile. I'll select desktop, and here are the different options, and we have Neri with DMS now, so let's select that. Graphics driver. So for this you need to know the specs of your system, basically whether it's AMD, Intel or Nvidia. Mine is AMD, so I'll select that. Greeter. Of course I'll go with the DMS greeter. In applications I'll enable Bluetooth and Pipewire for audio. I'll also install the optional font, cause why not? We're almost there. So network. I'll go with the default. In additional packages you can install whatever else you'd want. Of course you can easily do this afterwards as well. Going down to install, we get this neat overview of what we've selected. So let's install. And while it sets up my system, let me say a few things about the PC itself. This is the Geekom A9 Max, which Geekom sent over for this video. It's a small but powerful little guy. Inside this sleek aluminium box is an AMD Ryzen AI HX 470 CPU. A nice and concise name from AMD. Anyway, it also has Radeon 890M graphics, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, a 2TB NVMe SSD, Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4. Taking a look at the outside, on the front you get 4 USB 3.2 ports and a headphone jack. On the sides we find a Kensington lock and an SD card reader, and on the back you get dual HDMI 2.1 ports, 2 USB-C ports, a USB 2 port, a USB 3.2 port, and dual 2.5 gig Ethernet ports. Yeah, a lot of ports on this thing. I've been using the A9 Max for a couple of weeks now as my main Linux system, and I really like it. I'll talk more about this little guy at the end of the video, but let's see how the install is going. Oh, it's done. 56 seconds. That's fast. Let's reboot and unplug the USB, and there's the login screen. Welcome to Dank Material Shell. Okay, so this is the get started screen. Oh, an overview of shortcuts. Launcher is mod space. There's a clipboard manager. Mod comma for settings. Mod Y for dashboard. Here's stuff to configure. Cool. Display. Let's set the scale to 2, so it's easier to see what I'm doing. That's better. Keybinds. Oh wow, you have everything here. Alright, let's open a terminal with mod T and install fast fetch. There it is, Arch in all of its glory. Now I want VS Codium as I want to take a look at the config files. Oh, it's not there. Paru-s? Nope. Yay-s? Nope. These are Arch user repository helpers that you can use to download packages that are not in the Pacman repository. And to download Yay, let's go to the GitHub and copy this command. Now we can get VS Codium. Alright, I've now messed around with DMS for a few hours and I must say it's actually really good. I'm quite surprised as to how much customizing you can do just using the DMS settings. You really don't have to touch the config files if you don't want to. There are a lot of settings which can be a bit overwhelming, but if you just spend an hour or so going through them, you can rise your system quite substantially. I actually really like the DMS bar and it works by removing or adding widgets, so if I wanted the app launcher, I'd just add it like so. There are also a bunch of desktop widgets if you like that kind of thing, and you can even browse third-party options. Very cool. Keyboard shortcuts are also intuitive to modify. For example, I like to switch between windows with Mod A and D, and to do that I'll just search for focus, find the focus column left and change the mod H to that, and so on. You can also make your own keybinds, so if I wanted one for VS Codium, I'll just click the plus icon, set the key combination, select run a program, write VS Codium and click add. It then notifies you if there are conflicts, and there are, so I just find the focus workspace down and remove it. Now it works. Yeah, I think DMS is pretty good, especially if you want to be able to customize a lot without messing with config files. Now, I've gotten quite used to editing the Neri config, and to me it's actually easier, since you just have everything in one place and it is just text, and most of it is quite obvious. So to round off this installation of Arch and Neri plus DMS, I think it's really cool that it is this easy to install this combination with Arch install. It definitely removes a lot of the more complicated steps involved in a normal Arch install. I won't say it's as easy as installing, say, Linux Mint, but if you know a little about disk types, packages and so on, it is, again, quite intuitive. I'm not sure whether I'll stick with DMS, as I do quite like Noctalia, and I have installed the newest version, which I'm excited to try out too. Oh, and this was actually supposed to be a NixOS installation, but let's just say it wasn't as plug and play as Arch install. Really, my main problem was installing Neri and Noctalia. Getting up and running with KDE was very easy, and I think the declarative nature of NixOS is really cool, so I've definitely not given up on that. But I don't want to make a video before Neri works with me knowing what's actually going on. Now, a short review of the Geekom A9 Max. It's a really cool mini PC. As mentioned, I've actually used it for some weeks now, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Nonetheless, let's start with the things I like. The ports. You get so many, which is nice. It's also very convenient to have 2.5 gig Ethernet ports, as I have it connected to my 2.5 gig switch that connects my NAS and all of my other home lab stuff. Video coming soon. If I could change the layout slightly, I think it would be great to switch out one of the USB-A ports on the front with a USB-C port instead. It would just make for an easier and faster connection with my USB-C devices, such as my external SSD, or if I want to charge my phone. Opening it up is also easy, which I like. Just remove the rubber feet, and then there are 4 screws, then 4 more, and we are in. Oh, did I just rip out the connectors for the Wi-Fi card? Yes. Were they easy to reinsert? No. Was I stressed out? Yes, but I got them in again. Anyway, here's the M.2 SSD, and there's actually an additional slot if you want to expand. Here is the single stick of RAM. Now, Geekom writes that they only put in a single stick on purpose, as it makes upgrading RAM easier later down the line. While I do acknowledge this intention, I would rather have this PC shipped with 2 sticks, as you do miss out on some performance not running the RAM in dual channel. Especially since the insane market just makes it so that putting another 32 gigs of RAM in here is just stupidly expensive. Here's the price for a matching stick here in Denmark. Yikes. That said, as I don't really game, it's not that big of a deal for me, and rendering random animations is still very fast. But if you do want to use this mini PC for some 1080p gaming, that's definitely something you'd have to consider. The CPU is plenty fast for what I'm doing on this thing. I can screen record in 4K 60 FPS while doing other stuff with no problems. The internal fan do ramp up when I do so, but it's not that loud, and I think I'm just a bit sensitive to fans as I practically never hear them on my Mac. Anyway, overall I'm pretty satisfied with the Geekom A9 Max. It's a great PC for my main Linux system. Yeah, and of course the fact that it's AMD based just makes Linux that much easier to install and manage. I will have links in the description if you want to check it out. Thanks a lot to Geekom for sending over the PC, and sorry for the video delay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to Jan, Lester, Afraris, Cal and Justin, as well as the other members of the channel. You too can become a member of the channel, if it's financially responsible of you. Right now there are 2 tiers with different perks, but in addition to these, all members are invited to join a VIP channel in the Discord.